All right, hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mack, Play Fast Football. All right, today we're going to take a look at two remove coverage variations, okay? So the things that we might carry in our toolbox that we could call to two removed, all right? And the reason we're going to talk about it is the different things you're going to see from two removed, the way an offense plays, and why we like to change kind of the leverage of what we're playing in certain scenarios and how we trigger things in certain scenarios, all right? So we're going to go through some of the things that we carry in our toolbox. Make sure you check out some of our partners, GameStrat, the sideline replay company that we use. Dome is the headwear company that provides our hats at Bishop Kenny and Play Fast. There's one of our Bishop Kenny fitted hats, all right? So they're completely customizable. Check them out. Baker Sports provides our uniforms, coaches gear, spirit packs, players gear, fan gear, all right? So we do everything through Baker Sports. All right, JustPlay is the software that we use for our playbooks. We do a lot of game plan presentations through there. We do a lot of our playbook presentations. You can create professional looking presentations with your playbooks and your game plans, and that's how we present them to our team. So we use it as a presentation mode on top of just a playbook itself. And then if you speak at clinics, it's a really good tool to use to present. All right, and then you can give your kids quizzes on playbooks, game plans, and other things. So it really helps take your program to a more professional level. So check out JustPlay. DifferenceUSA, the ultimate striking machine. Get thousands of reps without needing a partner. It can attach to a rack in the weight room. It can attach, you can cement in 2x4s or something outside on the practice field. As long as you have a base to attach it to. All right, players are working on striking, elbows in, thumbs up. All right, roll the hips. We're working on that proper eye position. We're working on it on a pad that doesn't need anybody holding it because it's attached to your weight room rack, so you get thousands of reps, you don't need a partner, and you're constantly in season, off season, working on the skill of striking. All right, so check out DifferenceUSA. CoachTools, which is a new software out there. It's a player grading system. If you're tired of doing things the old-fashioned way and grading things by hand, CoachTools has a software out there. You can customize, all right, your columns and set it up the way you want to grade it, and then once you have it set up that way, it makes grading a lot easier, makes it, again, it's an easier way to save all of that, keep all of that, rather than having random pages all over the place. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3. Now you've got all your, all your player grading tools are in a software where they're saved and you know they're there. So it makes it a lot easier for you to input it, keep it, collect it, and then share it with players. All right, so check out CoachTools. So most of you guys that have been watching the channel for the last 8 or 9 years know that we are a base quarters team. We're a base middle of the field open team. If we get two removed, our base, all right, deal is palms to read, whatever you want to call it. All right, so that means that our apex linebacker is inside the number 2 receiver. Our corner and our safety are reading off the number 2. All right, so 2 up turns into man-to-man. 2 out turns into a version of cover 2 where the corner's down and the safety's got to go to 1. 2 under for us turns into very similar to quarters where it's man on 1 and our safety is going to help defend the post. We don't rob post dig curl the way we play it in Palms, and a couple reasons for that is we see a lot of routes where 2 tries to go under the Sam and vertical, the dirty vertical route. So we try to hang inside on the post to help us with the dirty vertical, all right, but also to help defend the post of the corner. I'd rather give up the curl and the dig depending on the route combinations and distribution you're getting. I feel like we can handle curl and dig more than we can the post route, and the post is going to hurt you right now. So if 2 is under, we decide to defend the post with our right safety. I have plenty of other videos that go more into depth about Palms coverage. I don't want to go too into depth about it right now. Our middle safety plays like a Mike linebacker, so if there's a push and our Sam has to push, our middle safety nails down and now plays, all right, the new inside route or the final 3, all right, on the inside for him, all right, or the new 3. So right now there's 3. If 3's tight, I nail down. If 3 pushes, I'm going to find a new 3 coming into me. Okay, so that's our generic 2 remove. That's where we start day 1. That's what we play a bunch. Okay, but the issue with Palms is going to be your Sam's always inside leverage. So any perimeter runs or flare to the back or bash schemes or anything that's going to work its way to the perimeter, they always have leverage to block the Sam. You always have to crack replace with your safety. Safety crack replacing in a lot of space against really good athletes sometimes can become an issue. All right. Also, all right, when they bubble and they run now in bubbles, you have to have a corner that from depth can take blocks on downhill, All right, he can defeat blocks, he can destruct blocks, he can be a physical player. A lot of times for us when we're in palms and we get bubble, our corners aren't the biggest players in the world, so we have a hard time triggering and taking these blocks on. And then it's a little bit too late and too wide for the Sam. All right, when he runs, because the Sam really doesn't relate to 2 on the bubble, he's relating to the release of 3. Okay, so the leverage of the Sam, the depth of the corner, all right, and then, you know, safety running the alley and crack replace. It's great if you get vertical routes because there's no seam integrity issues and vertical turns into man. So anytime a team is 4 up or 4 speed receivers, 2 by 2, and they go 4 verts, you know you're always in a position to cover it if they beat you man to man, all right, or they beat you, you know, on a ball downfield that's a jump ball or something like that, or if you get beat with leverage on a bender, that's something that we can work on and we can try and coach. They're not beating the scheme. There's no seam integrity. Okay, so the leverage of the Sam, the depth of the corner are some issues, all right, and then the fact that the Sam, to the backside, if he's a little bit faster into the run fit, depending on the front you're playing, he's going to be the guy that gets RPO, right? So we start in palms. The next thing we can do is we can play a combo coverage where we play man on the back end, and we play our palms or 2 read rules underneath. So we tighten the Sam to the box, nail the safety down to about 6, we can press the corner, and now what we'll do is we'll play man-to-man with palms rules underneath. So the Sam and our middle safety are still going to play their 2 read rules off the back. So the back pushes, the Sam's going to push, the middle safety's going to nail down. All right? Depending on how you like to do it, okay, and depending on what the other team is doing, if you are playing man out here and the back pushes and you push the Sam, if you don't want to nail down and try and help cut some under routes, you could also defend the post. You could take that middle safety. As long as 3 is not tight and vertical, you can gain that middle safety wherever you want. All right, if 3 was tight and vertical, now you're going to gain the Sam. So when you're doing it this way and you're playing man on the outside routes, all right, you're kind of going to gain almost a cut player. So if 3's wide and the Sam pushes, I'm going to gain this middle safety, either nail down to cut something, or I could gain him to the middle of the field in that coverage if I wanted to game plan it that way. All right, if 3 was tight, vertical, however you want to look at it. All right, if 3 released tight and inside, check down. All right, vertical, 3 tight is the middle safety. So now I'm going to gain the Sam because he has no push by the back. He doesn't play 3 tight, so now I can gain the Sam to cut whatever their schemes might be. If they're a mesh team and you're playing this, all right, usually the back end mesh is going to be wide. I get it. But the idea is if the back is tight, you can gain your Sam cutting routes. So you're going to gain one of those underneath players. We like it to defend RPOs because now when we're playing at man, RPOs are going to be thrown into man coverage. And we like the fact that when we play the combo coverage, we can tuck the Sam tighter to the box. All right, because we don't need him to play any of the stick of 2 or the inside routes of 2, all right? We don't have to kind of apex and walk them out as far because we are matching these routes. We like it because if we get bubbles, now we're going to change how we trigger. So now when we get bubble, as opposed to triggering the corner down, now we get bubble, we're going to trigger it man. So it changes how teams have to, you know, call or throw now on or bubble or the things that they do there. So that's one of the reasons we carry the combo coverage, all right, is we carry it because it becomes a man deal for RPOs, and then it almost becomes kind of a cut deal or a bracket deal, depending on what the back does. You can gain an inside player in the coverage, right? So the next thing we always cover after palms is we cover a combo coverage, okay? Then we carry our regular quarters. Now for us, our regular quarters means our Sam is going to go outside of 2, right? So our Sam's going to play outside of 2. Our safety's going to play quarters rules on 2, all right? So he'll probably be 10 off, 1 or 2 inside, flat-footed. He's got 2 vertical. All right, if 2 is out, now you can game plan the safety however you want, whether you want to rob, post, dig, curl, all right, whether you want to defend the post like we do in palms, whether you want to use him backside for digs or other things, all right? So if 2 is out or 2 is under, now the safety is going to be a game plan guy that you can gain. The standard way to play quarters is if 2's out or under, you rob, post, dig, curl of 1. Right, you go help, you get the double team on 1. So a lot of times when you're playing quarters, the idea is you'd like to get a double on 1 based on the release of number 2. If 2's vertical, your safety's going to have to play it. If 2's out, you can double 1. You can take away the inside of the post, the dig, the curl. All right, so that's one of the reasons you would like to play it. For us, one of the reasons we play it, it changes the leverage on bubble teams. So now the Sam on the bubble is going to carry the first to the flat. So now they've either got to crack the Sam, which makes us crack replace, and now when we crack replace unblocked. as opposed to coming down in palms, okay? If they are a jet team, a bash team, or a team that wants to get the ball to the perimeter, maybe even a speed option team, all right? If we put the Sam outside, now we know the leverage, and we know the ball is going to get turned back into the alley because we play 3 high with a middle safety off of 3. So if this was like a toss read deal, and let's say they shuffled and ran toss read, let's say they're running it maybe with counter going back or whatever, if we fit off of 3, that means my middle safety is going to trigger the alley of 3. If my Sam is outside of 2 and the ball gets turned back in, we're turning it back in to the alley play. All right, and then it also declares things. We play our Sam a little bit tighter. We play him about 3 by 3. So it also helps declare things for the safety. If they're going to go with perimeter runs, they're probably going to try and get hands on him right now when he's down. Now when I get hands on him, I can trigger faster. I do not like playing quarter series to a 2 removed with my eyes on the tackle in the box. That's just me. That's a personal preference. If 2 is a tight end and he's the end man on the line, I'm okay with it. When 2 is removed and my eyes are on a remove, because remember, vertical of 2 is me. Well, when I have a player that's got a vertical read of 2 and a vertical responsibility of 2, I want him looking at his vertical responsibility. That's just a precaution safety deal for me. I know there's teams that'll read high hat, low hat, and then progress back out to 2. I don't like doing that. In high school, all these blocks, a lot of the times, depending on who you're playing, might look the same. They don't necessarily get the high hat. There are no such things in high school really as true passing downs. You'll get 3rd and 8 and get trap or get ISO. So I like playing my eyes on 2 with a vertical threat. So I've got to clean that up to gain him in the run game. So I'm going to gain him late, but if I'm going to gain him in the alley, I know the ball is getting forced back in, so I know where I'm going to gain him. He plays a little bit more aggressive, which means if they want to run the ball, they're probably going to work out. As soon as I see hands on, now I know I can trigger in the alley because he's always going to fit it outside. Also helps us if they throw quick game to 1. So anybody in palms, whatever, if they want to throw hitches or things to 1, we're outside of 2. If we get past, we are a curl flat player, matching the first to the flat. So now when we get there, we got a little more body presence under the quick game to 1. Okay, so that's the next deal. We'll go to quarters coverage to 2 removed. Now, keep in mind for us, this year, I have only played quarters to 2 removed 3 or 4 snaps all year. 7 games, 3 or 4 snaps. So because I list these all as coverage variations, that does not mean we play them all every game. Because I know I'm going to get comments from people that say, Coach, how do you carry 85 coverages into a high school game? We don't carry them all. We have game plans in of what we like based on what the other team does. But we know in our toolbox we have these things so that if something happened in a game, we could get with our kids and say, hey, you know what? For what they're doing to us, I think combo is a better call than palms. I think quarters is a better call than combo. Right? So we have the ability to do that. We never carry and rep every single one of them every week. All right, we rep them through the spring, the summer, 7-on-7. Then they're repped throughout the week. Okay, but there's times where in a week's game plan, I only rep 2 or 3 of them, and then if I have to reach back and pull from the other one, I know it's in the toolbox. Okay, you can play a 3 deep rip Liz match. All right, so now if you do that, you're going to play with a inside hook curl player. You're going to take a safety down and play there. So now what's going to happen is your safety is going to play down outside of 2. Your safety is going to match, carry, deliver on 2. All right, so your safety, 2 vertical, 2 out. He's going to match it. Again, changes the leverage of how they do things. Changes the leverage of what they are trying to do. Now, we're outside of that. We're going to match the out routes. We're going to match the bubbles. We're going to match, all right, the speed outs and everything else. But we're also going to carry the verticals, and you're going to carry it from low underneath to force the throw to go high into the middle to where we have our help, right? So we're changing the level on how we play 2. We're changing how we play 2 vertical. So now we're outside of 2 like we were in read, but we're actually carrying the vertical. In read, we won't carry the vertical. So now we've got another coverage where we're outside. All right, we are going to play mostly mod technique with the corner. All right, we don't carry this coverage enough to get into a situation where based on dividers and is 2 in the seam, what are we going to do with the corner? Our corners will mostly play like mod. We're going to play all of this unless it's shallow or 5 yards and under, then we're going to make some type of smash China call. If he's under right away, we're going to make an under call. Okay. If 3 is fast, we're going to turn it into a spot coverage right now. So if 3 is fast, we're going to turn it into all right? We're going to turn that into curl flat, hook curl. We're not going to match the routes. We're going to turn it right into a spot drop. So we're going to actually push the coverage like we do in our 2 read. For us, we play it drop 8, so I always have another inside. Instead of me just having 2 hook curl players and having to melt the backside guy, use the robot technique, cut, mat cut, all those fancy terms in rip liz. For us, the hook curl player knows that if he gets an immediate under, we know that we can cut those to the side of number 3 with the mic. And that's all the mic's job is, because he's got hook curl players on each side. Now the mic becomes like a low hole rat and we can cut those routes. So fast 3 will turn into a spot. We'll lean the middle safety a little bit further to the fast 3 because we know we're no longer carrying that vertical. Okay, and then again, the corner for us in rip liz will play a mod technique, all right, or some people call, the mess technique, man on everything except shallow. I like to tell our guys, man on deep routes, let the shallow go, let the hitch go, let all those other things go that are under 5 yards. We'll zone it off, we'll make smash or China calls, all right, so that if we get slot fade or we get hitch corner, we can kind of get over the top of that, especially if there's a fast 3 and it becomes a spot call, okay? If 3 were tight, the only thing you got to worry about, if 3 is not fast, if 3 is tight, your hook curl player has to know what 2's doing. Right, so this hook curl player here has to know, okay, if 3 is tight or if 3 is late to the flat and not fast. So in other words, fast would be like pre-snap motion, push there. Late would be ball gets snapped, then he goes. So if he's tight or late in the release, hook curl player has to know the release of 2. If 2 is out or up, then this hook curl player is going to have to play 3 through. He doesn't have to play 3 up vertical, he's got to play 3 through to the flat, because if we're going to carry a vertical of 2 and match an out of 2, nobody will play the back out there. Now again, pre-snap if he's fast, we'll turn it into a spot coverage right now if they want to do that, and we'll lean the middle safety to the vertical of 2 to the fast side. But if he's not fast, if he's late, post-snap, or if he's tight, then to the flat, whatever that may be, if he's tight and then to the flat, we're going to have to carry 3 through, especially if 2 is vertical or out. Now, if 2 is coming back under and we got an under call, now we know that we're going to deliver the under call to the hook player, and now we're going to work our way back to the curl area and we will take 3 out. So it becomes like a natural exchange, right? The reason we do this also is because we want to close the middle of the field, because our base deal is middle of the field open. So everybody knows we're middle of the field open. In order for us to close the middle of the field, we have to carry a version of that coverage, and rip liz is a good way to do that. Okay, so again, this is not a rip liz clinic. I am not a base rip liz guy. We carry it as an adjustment to 2 remove. Okay, the last thing we would do is we would play true cover 2. All right, so when we play true cover 2, we're going to play a corner down. We play it, all right, we play it jam funnel. So we play old school cover 2, we play a safety over the top. That's basically going to become a deep pad player. Midpoint, you can read 2 to 1. All right, you can read 2 to Q, whatever you want to read, however you teach it. Bottom line is he's got to be able to midpoint and defend 2 verticals. All right, so now what we're going to try and do is we're going to get our corner to funnel 1 inside, hands on. If 1 removes himself so far that he's rerouted himself, we will just sink. Anytime 2's vertical, our corner will sink. Take away, all right, that outside voided area if they were to work outside seam, inside seam, or I'm sorry, outside vertical, inside seam. If we get 2 out, if we get number 1 outside, our corner will never turn his back. He will open his chest to the quarterback, sink, and widen with his eyes inside. Okay? If we get a 2 to the flat, our corner will sit and force the throw to the flat. So we jam funnel 1, start to sink, 2's in the flat, we will sit and hold, force the ball to the flat. If the ball has come out on bubble, then obviously we're in a position with outside leverage. We're in a position to better play the bubble. All right, so into the boundary a lot. We love to play hard cover 2. We like to take away access throws. We like to feel like we're in a position to where you can't throw the bubble. All right, we've got it leveraged outside in, and we're very hard, tough, aggressive, all right, in the jam funnel. So we want you to feel like that bubble is a dead throw. Into the boundary, we want to take away the speed out and the easy throws. Now the Sam has no push alert. The Sam is going to be a wall 2 curl player. He's not going to widen because we have a corner in the flat, so he's a wall 2 curl player. right? So now if we got 2 vert, he's got to try and wall it. When we play palms, he doesn't need to wall it as much. There's no seam integrity. Now when we play 2, there's seam integrity issues with those 2 routes. I got to try and wall it, get hands on, knock 2 out if I can, okay? But I don't have to expand. There's no push alert. Our middle safety plays Tampa 2, and he plays the high hole. Our Mike linebacker plays the low hole. So we feel like it's a safe coverage for us in certain scenarios. When we see teams that are now on, bubble teams, or especially into the boundary, we don't do it as much to the middle because I don't like the midpoint. I don't like the corner being the force player in the run game. We will do it more into the boundary. We will do it a bunch to a single, okay? But we will do it to 2x2 to kind of change the leverage of how we're doing things. All right, so now we know that we've got the corner as the force player. Sam's inside here. All right, now what we lose, though, is if they block the Sam, we're going to lose the crack replace of the safety like we get in palms, but we're going to hope that our corner is setting an edge and turning runs back inside to our middle safety or our players that are inside out. Okay, so for us, our coverage variations, the 2 removed, are all about changing leverage. Okay, so we're big on changing the leverage that we're playing with so that we can affect the bubbles and we can affect perimeter run game. Okay, and for us, they're all about, all right, the skill set of our players and how can we better benefit our players. We have a hard time playing bubbles and palms. We have a hard time with our corners triggering down and getting off blocks. So a lot of times into the boundary, we'll play hard. We'll play money. We'll do different things to change how we trigger, change our leverage, and to play to the skill set of our players. So hopefully that helps you guys understand the variations we carry to remove, why we use them, when we would use them. If you want to check out some of those coverages like palms and things like that, I have several other videos that go into detail on those. All right, so I hope, now that we're in October, I hope you guys are making a playoff run. I hope everybody on your team is healthy. I hope your coaching staff's doing well. If you're having a poor season, as we approach the off season, it's going to get into that time where we are going to be heavy into research, learning, and getting better. So there's going to be more videos out. Eventually, hopefully, the Play Fast Clinic. If you're not going to make the playoffs, you're already building towards next year. If you're a football coach, that's what we do. That's what we love. So thanks for subscribing to the channel. All right, if you do subscribe, make sure you turn the notifications on so you know every time you do a video. I appreciate everything you guys do for me. If you like the videos, thumbs up. If you don't like them, thumbs down. Leave a comment. I try and respond to every comment that I can see on my end and interact with the people that are watching the videos. All right, stay safe. Hope your season's going great. Thank you for everything you do for me and Play Fast. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast, and I will catch every one of you next time.